Thank you for joining us for a very special episode of KC Chase to the Pennant. Today, we're here with two very special guests. One is a man we are excited to work with for 2024 and beyond, a member of IBWAA, who Kevin is also a part of that group, and the founder of Farms and Fountains, Mr. Preston Farr. How you doing, Preston?
Hey, I'm doing good, Christian. I'm excited to do this with you and chat with a lot of great guys.
And then we also have the number 11th ranked prospect for the Kansas City Royals, who recently received an invite to spring training down in Surprise, Arizona, pitcher Chandler Champlain. How you doing, Chandler?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about that. Let's get into this real quick. You just got invited. I believe it's 23 or 26 players who are not on the roster get invited to head down to Arizona and get to be with the team. How does it feel to be a part of that?
It's an honor, and I'm really happy. I made it a goal of mine by towards the end of last season. I really wanted to try to see if I can put myself on that ballot to go to big league camp, and I'm really happy that I'm getting the opportunity, and I'm excited, looking forward to spring.
Yeah, and I know it's kind of hard to get on that list. Preston, you're really familiar with like minor league players and whatnot, but for you, Chandler, how what are you kind of focusing on kind of heading into spring training right now?
My last season's off-season workout program really did me well, and it really put me in a good spot to kind of put myself on the map. And I wanted to make a statement when I showed up to last year's spring training. And where my trainer and I are sticking with the same thing. We know it works, and I don't want to try to reinvent the wheel. So I've just been doing my off-season training that I've done before, and just getting ready.
And then something else I was thinking about too is how exciting is it to see some of your teammates also come with you to spring training? Because I know that you know, when you're in the minor leagues, you kind of get tracked or you grow with a certain group of players, and I know it has to be exciting for you to see some of your guys or some of your friends who are in the Royals minor league team kind of get invited to this as well.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Like my good friend Mason Barnett's coming, and Beckway, who I got traded with, and I think it's going to be easier for the us as the new pitchers, kind of might be able to relax a little bit and not feel like we're the young bucks and everyone else is a big leaguer here, and don't get so wide eyed. So it's going to be nice having them around. But at the end of the day, we all know what our goal is and what our dreams are, and that's to be in the position that we're gonna be in come spring. And having them there is definitely gonna settle the nerves a little bit, but they're definitely still gonna be there.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to the trade. You talked about Beck Ways going to spring training with you. What was that like changing organizations? Was there anything that you noticed like noticeably different from the Yankees to the Royals? How was that?
It was a hectic day for sure when I found out. It was I was in Fort Myers, Florida, and we had a rain delay. So it was about 11 o'clock at night, and I'm just sitting in the dugout about the fifth, sixth inning. And then my head coach at the time, Rachel Balkovac, had her phone out and said, "Hey, Chandler, I need to take this." And, ended up being the Royals, and just got traded for Benintendi, and pack your bags, and you're going to meet Quad Cities on the road in Wisconsin and go from there. And it definitely was an adjustment for sure. It felt I didn't feel like I had to start from scratch, because the Yankees did teach me how to pitch and how to become the pitcher I am now. And I took that with me. And when I brought it to the Royals, when I got to Wisconsin, we talked about what we did well, and we're going to stick with it, and what needed to be worked on, we're going to try to fine tune those things. But it definitely was an adjustment for sure, getting to learn new coaches, new teammates, new routines, new everything. But it worked out well, and everybody in the Royals organization that helped me transition made it very easy for me. So I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah. And if there's anything you can't share, like that's I understand, but like in that transition, you talked about the Royals had some things they wanted you to change or wanted you to try. What kind of if you compare the two, are there things that maybe the Royals focus on that the Yankees didn't, or like what kind of things did you guys work on?
Well, I think for the Royals, it was much more of trying to find your role and what kind of pitcher you want to be, and they're going to help you become the pitcher and the player and the teammate that you want to become. I think the Yankees are very good at developing athletic ability in terms of like you want to throw harder. All right, like let's go get on a plyo mound and then we'll get you a couple miles per hour. But I think the Royals are much more about something deeper than just throw harder, get more spin on this. They help you find the player you want to become.
All right. Well, it definitely worked last year. I think 23 was like 22. You had a solid season. There was a lot to like, but last year you really like took off. I feel like
Thank you.
so. Like heading into the season, like did your focus change from the year prior? Do you think it just like all those things you worked on? Did they just come together? What made it?
Right. So right, yeah. About the last answer I just had, that wanting to find out who I wanted to become this past 23 season, it really kind of set in on who I was going to be. And I want to be the starter that is going to go out, make sure my defense can relax a little bit and know that I'm going to give them my best effort for 6, 7, 8 innings, how many. I'm not going to strike out the world. I'm not going to put up these insane numbers, but I know I'm going to give you 6 or more and 3 or less, like that. I don't really care about stats, but I take pride in quality starts. And my goal was to have more quality starts than my first pro season. I think I only had like 4, and the 23 season I had like 14 or 15. And I really took pride in that. And I've now like established like who I am and who I want to be.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely settled in. I think there was a start in July. I think it was like a perfect game into the fifth, and you ended the day with no hits. That was a start.
Yeah, thank you. That was we were in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. Yep, second start after All-Star break. Everything's kind of clicked that day. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
pitches were going where I wanted them to go, and the hitters were doing what I wanted them to do.
Yeah. Do you feel like that was later in the year, but like middle of the year, like was there an adjustment period to Northwest Arkansas, or how long did it take you to settle in?
Yeah, the first 3 starts I had for Northwest kind of were not eye-opening, but definitely more challenging. And then right after my third start of not doing so well, the All-Star break hit, and I got to go home and kind of adjust and reset my mind, reset my body. And then we came back. I just wanted to make sure that from the first start after All-Star break till the end of the season, I'm going to give every ounce of effort and do everything I can. And I think like after I had like one bad start where I like went 1 inning, and it happens. But
Yeah.
things just started to click well. I started to find a groove, and pitching. I feel like you just kind of follow like in a rhythm. You'll go like 2 or 3 weeks like you feel it, and then you got 1 or 2 weeks in a row where like you kind of lose a little bit of something. And not every time you're going to go out there you're going to be perfect, but as long as if you can if you have your DC stuff that day, if you can still compete with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and just to hop in real quick, Chandler, as a pitcher, that some days are great and some days are not.
Mm.
But how do you keep yourself kind of mentally prepared or keep yourself mentally in check to ensure that you don't kind of get into like this like you don't get angry when you get on the mound, or you don't kind of let your kind of mental mistakes get the best of you?
Yeah, I mean, if I have a bad start, I will, the rest of the evening, I'll try to not think about it too much, not let it get to me too much, and then I'll come to the stadium the next day. I'll sit down with my pitching coach. We'll go over film. We'll discuss what happened and move on from there and what needs to get better, and then just erase it. And the same goes with the good starts. You can't let yourself get too high or too low. You got to find that middle ground of like, I still got work to do. Because if you have one good start and then you go out for your next one like all cocky and confident and think you got this in the bag, that's when things tend to go sideways. So it's just a matter of, even if you have a good start, got to look at the film, what mistakes were made, what do we need to improve on in the next bullpen to get ready for my next start.
Do you have any superstitions that you have in mind before you start a game or before you head to the mound?
Probably just listen to some crazy hard rock music before I go out and start playing catch. Kind of get myself in a little Metallica mode.
Get amped up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say.
Yeah.
which probably I need to work on, but it's working right now, and it gets me fired up for the game.
You talked about like, deciding what type of pitcher you want to be. As the year went on last year, at least like from what I saw, it seemed like you would just bully guys, just pound the zone and attack them up. Is that kind of like what you're shooting for? Like what kind of, or is there a pitcher like growing up that you're like modeling your game after? Like what is that? What is that in your mind?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I wasn't alive to watch this pitcher perform, but my dad has read many books about him and has told me stories, and I've watched videos of arguably, not even arguably, the greatest pitcher of all time, and that is Nolan Ryan. And I have two pictures of him hanging on my wall in my room. And even though I don't throw 108 or however hard he throws, I love the way he approached the game, and every time he stepped foot on that mound, hitters feared him, and I want to have that same vibe when I get on the mound. That no one's going to beat me, and this is my game, my field, my mound, my ball.
I like that. I like that. Did you, when you got to Northwest Arkansas, I talked a little with Sean Mernon last year. He mentioned that you added a splitter. Did you add that when you got there, or is that something you'd worked on prior? Or
So yes, when I got to Arkansas, my pitching coach then, Larry Carter, we were talking about I need to find a changeup, and also Paul Gibson and Justin Friedman, who are part of pitching development for the Royals as well. We all talked that it is essential for me as a starter going forward. I need to have a front to back pitch, and so we played around with a changeup. I'd previously thrown a couple of circle changes in Iowa at River Bandits. Sorry, blanked on that. I threw a couple of circle changes with the River Bandits, and some worked out well, and some not so much. And then when I got to Arkansas, Larry, Coach LC is what we call him, came up with the idea of like maybe you should try a splitter. You have a good arm slot for it. You throw straight down. It might work in your defense. And so we practiced on it, and I threw it in the game a couple of times, and I couldn't find a consistent feel to throw it over the plate. Sometimes I would just spike it 50 feet. And also working on it in bullpens helps for sure. But when it comes into the game, when you got your adrenaline pumping and the pressure's on and every pitch matters, that's when you really kind of find out if you're going to be able to throw this pitch consistently. So right now we're kind of at a 50-50 between this whole off season. I've developed a circle changeup that I feel confident with and that I'm going to move forward with. And we've also been working on the splitter. And I think what we might do is if it's no stress, no runners on base, and I got an 0-2 count on someone, it might be a good time to throw a splitter and just try to throw it over the plate and hopefully get a chase on it. That's when it'll come into play. But the rest of the counts, I'm just going to use the circle changeup just because it's a lot easier to locate and throw more consistently.
I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, I know the Royals have done well. Like Cole Reagan, Cole Reagan's we saw last year came over and added a slider, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll be excited to see this year what that looks like and how it helps you for sure.
Thank you.
When it comes to your future as a pitcher, what are you more excited about heading into this upcoming season for 2024 and 2025?
Right now my mind is at where I'm just excited to get back on the field. I don't as of now I don't really care where I end up. I'm just excited to get back out there and compete again and be with my team. And if this year's the year, that's awesome. If not, I'm gonna keep grinding and working for it. I'm here for a reason, and I want to make a statement, and I want to have an amazing career. And right now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I just kind of want to stay in the present, take things day by day. But you know, I'm just working hard. And I know that it'll pay off one day.
Have you been working in the off season on anything before spring training? Have you done anything pitching wise between the end of the season in 2023 to, right now or leading up to spring training in Arizona?
So yeah, I've been following. The Royals do give the pitchers a throwing program to follow throughout the off season, and so I've been sticking with that. And last year, I made the mistake of getting a little too hot too quick, where I was by this time last year I was like 60 pitches ready because I just wanted to go to spring training and just shove. But no, right now I've thrown 4 bullpens. They're between 20 to 25 pitches, trying to limit myself and not get antsy. Um, and so yeah, we're doing that. And then I leave next week to go to Arizona for a little mini camp for a week, and then I'll come back home for a couple days, and then permanently leave mid-February.
I know that some of the Royals pitchers, they go to this thing called tread, right, Preston? I know that you've heard
Mhm.
Yeah,
of
there's
this
been a few
before.
guys that go there. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Royals just made a kind of big time step into bringing those guys into the organization with Sam Eanes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's going to be a minor league pitching coach, if I understand right.
Yeah, and I was gonna say he's very into like data and analytics.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on kind of that being the future of baseball versus, you go back to the 90s, you go back to the 80s, that was just old school. You pitch until your arm's tired or you just pitch
Yeah.
what you're good at.
I think the analytics are really good for today's game in terms of helping players get better and what needs to be worked on. I'm not a fan of it taking over all of baseball to where we everything's based on data, because I think the eye test is very important too, and just human natural athletic ability to compete. So I think it's really nice to have a strong balance of both, but I don't want the data overcoming the baseball's natural way of, let's go out and let's play some ball, mano a mano.
Real quick before we go to the Immaculate Inning, I want to talk about more about your family and how they've pushed you in your career throughout baseball. Your dad went to USC. You were just telling us before we started recording, but I see that little trophy over there that must mean a ton to you. But how have your parents played a role into where you're at today, and even your siblings?
Oh my, I have nowhere to begin. They always pushed me to do sports when I was a little kid, and I loved golf. I liked basketball. Dad didn't let me play football because he wanted me to, be able to run down the street with my kids one day and not be in pain. So we stuck with baseball, and I can't thank them enough for all those travel ball games, all those high school games, all the flights we had to book, and all those trips that they had to take time off work. And I would not be near the position I'm in today if it wasn't for all their help and love and support. And my brother and sister as well, supporting me and helping me in my career and always having my back no matter what.
Yeah, I was gonna say your dad, Jay. Again, as I was mentioning, he was a 1981 Letterman for the USC football team, and he was a part of that 1978 national championship squad. What has he taught you from those moments that has helped you get ready whenever you go to the mound or whenever you're trying to focus and work on your stuff?
From a very young age, he's always instilled the mindset of, compete and hard work is going to get you to where you want to be. And you can't survive on talent alone. And, he's really helped me kind of find my path, as well as like how the Royals have helped me define who I am as a pitcher. He's helped define me of who I am as a man and, who I want to be. And the hard work, the competitiveness, to be respectful to others, and just to be a good person at the end of the day, really. And I think his time at SC as a football player really kind of set his path for his career. He ended up not doing football, but he chose a different path in life, and he competed for many years to become successful. And I think not only can you just take a competitive mindset to just sports, but anything you do, like if you got to make your food, like make the best food you can. Like if you're gonna brush your teeth, brush it the best you can, and everything you do, put 100% effort into.
Shout out your dad. Wow, he's really kind of giving you that competitive spirit. Now we're gonna head into the Immaculate Inning. Chandler,
Okay.
you know about that. So we're gonna throw you 9 questions,
Okay.
quick fashion. And the first one is if you could pick any song to be your walk-on song, what would it be?
Right now, it would be it's "Survival of the Fittest" by Mobb Deep.
Bronny or Caleb Williams? Who would you rather be best friends with?
Caleb Williams.
Favorite Royals teammate, minor or major league, wherever.
Oh man, I don't know if I want to answer that. I might throw some other of my friends under the bus here. Man, can I pass?
All right. All right.
I love all my teammates.
There you go. There you go. We'll let
I
you.
love all my teammates.
Safe
let you
answer.
process
Safe
that.
answer.
If you were to play any other sport, what would it be and why?
Golf. I would have been a golfer.
You would have been a golfer.
I take pride in my golf very seriously. Yes.
Speaking of which is more frustrating to learn and play? Because I know that you love fishing, you love surfing, and you love golfing.
Yes. Which is the hardest?
Yeah, to learn and to play.
Fishing because they don't always bite.
You always have trouble trying to get them to bite sometimes when you're fishing?
Some days it just doesn't happen, and you could be out there. It doesn't matter how long.
Man, it's the bait. You gotta get that right bait, man.
I have about a 10-minute cap of if it doesn't happen in 10 minutes, I'm switching it out and I'm throwing something else out there.
Favorite post-game meal?
Chipotle.
Chipotle. What's your Chipotle order?
It depends how many carbs I ate that day, but probably be a burrito, rice, black beans, double steak, sour cream, hot sauce, guac, cheese, lettuce.
Wow.
Big Chipotle guy.
Yeah, I'm too.
Stuff it.
Listen, I used to work there, man. It is no joke. Okay, your dream baseball teammate, past or present, if you can pick.
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. I know you were talking about having some of his posters in your room, so I can only imagine what it'd be like to be best friends with him.
I'd be scared, really.
Okay, and then what is your go-to pitching glove? Because a lot of people have like different gloves that they like to use. What is yours?
This year, except for the last game of the year, I went with it's an all black Rawlings and it's got a couple of blue stripes on it, but I kind of like the murdered out black thing. For some reason, I think it's intimidating. It's probably not. The hitters probably don't care what color my glove is, but I like the all black look. Like Scherzer has an all black look. Verlander's got the all black look. I don't know. Just following the best.
Well, that's pretty much it from my part. Preston, do you have any other questions before we head out?
I don't think so, man. I really appreciate the time. Thanks for getting on here with us. And more than anything, I'm just excited to see where you go this year. I'm hoping we'll see you in Kansas City.
Thank you. Me too. And thank you for having me on. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And hopefully it's only up from here.
Yeah, that's right. I'm excited to see you one day in the big leagues, whether it be wherever we have the home of the Royals, whether it be in Kaufman or it's wherever they're going to have the new stadium. I'm excited to see you in KC.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Me too.
All right. Thank you, Chandler. Appreciate it.
Yes, no problem. Thank you.